So in my line of work as a quality assurance engineer, there's something we call regression testing here. And it's a test that we carry out when a developer or developers are done fixing a certain issue or bugs. We carry out our test to make sure that the issues they fix do not introduce new issues into the system, do not break anything on the system, that everything, general system or the application is working just as it should. And I've been thinking about how this applies to real life here. So just because you're healed or you've healed and made progress with something does not mean you are done. You need to constantly check in with yourself. You need to test for triggers. You need to test for old patterns. You need to make sure that you're not carrying or knowingly carrying new baggage here. For example, you're done with a toxic relationship or workplace and you've moved on, you're back to the dating scene or job hunting scene. Regression testing is testing to make sure that you are not falling for the same red flags in a different outfit. I will use relationship as an example again here. So you've left a toxic partner, and usually when something reminds you about that person, you get triggered, you're angry, and but you've been able to work on that, and you're like, I moved on, doesn't matter, I beg, life goes on, yeah. Then something triggers you again, but this time around you're not angry. The emotion has moved from anger to sadness. You're not sad, or you're having anxiety. So you see, you've worked on the anger part, or you thought you were fine, you've healed, but something triggers you, something reminds you about that person, and now you're sad. You're having anxiety, panic attack, PTSD. So regression testing, like I said, is constantly testing to make sure that you have truly been healed and new issues have not been introduced into your system. Regression testing is also testing after you've gone for therapy, you've done inner work. Let's say you've had to deal with childhood trauma or something here, and some form of trauma. Regression testing is asking yourself, have I truly healed? Have I grown? What have I learned from this? Or am I suppressing emotions? So I'm going to put this out there. Have you ever thought you were done with a certain situation, person, whatever, and boom, it shows up again? Yeah? Has this ever happened to you? This is your system reminding you or telling you to carry out a regression test. So now that you know about regression testing, carry out a regression test. Constantly test for triggers, test that you're not falling for the same old patterns, test that you're not falling for red flags in a different outfit, test that you've truly healed, test your mental state, your mental health, test your emotions are in check, and make sure that you have done the work and you are really in a very good place. Thank you for watching. Bye.